So I've just arrived at Aero Anglia and the engineers are just pulling the aircraft out of the hangar. It's had its 100-hour check, and I'm going to be heading off to Tatenhill today. I'm going to be going to a brand new factory that is building a brand new helicopter, like a helicopter. Helicopters haven't been designed or built in the UK, I don't think, since the 60s. And somebody is building one. It looks amazing, so I'm going to go and see the factory, see how they're getting on with the design and production.
Clipper up! Okay, so we are off to Tatenhill. There are very few places in the UK, especially licensed aerodromes, that I've not been to, and this is one of them. I've not been to Tatenhill. Got a big runway, over 1,000 metres, which is quite big for little GA airfields in the UK. As you'll notice, the green lights are all nice and bright now. They had to change a switch on one of the gear legs, on the left main gear leg, changed a switch and that's sorted out the lights. So we've now got bright green lights, don't have to worry anymore about the gear. Watersham traffic, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, PA28 Arrow, lining up for departure, runway 23 at Elmsett, immediate departure, Watersham traffic. We have full power, temperatures and pressures are in the green, no warning lights. Airspeed is increasing, looking for 60, and off we go. Runway's gone, gear up. Temperatures and pressures are in the green, landing light can come off. Bit of a benign day, but bit of low cloud around, bit of poor visibility, and we're going to get across above the cloud. Cambridge approach, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor requesting a traffic service.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Cambridge radar, good morning, pass your message.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, PA28 from Elmsett to Tatenhill. Position is 22 miles southeast of you, altitude 2,000 feet, QNH 1026, currently VFR, looking for an IFR climb, altitude 4,000 feet to route via Charlie Alpha Mike.
Golf India Victor, squawk 6161 please.
Squawk 6161, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, thank you. Identified traffic service, reduced traffic information due to limited surveillance performance.
Traffic service reduced and climbing now, altitude 4,000 feet, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, roger, thank you. To Cambridge QNH 1027, report reaching altitude 4,000 feet.
QNH 1027, Wilco, Golf India Victor. Temperatures and pressures are all good, we don't have any ice, 200 to go. Here we are at 4,000 feet. Golf India Victor level, 4,000 feet.
Golf India Victor, roger, thank you, and confirm your routing. You're going to be routing overhead, Cambridge.
Affirm, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, thank you. Report with 5 to run from the Charlie Alpha Mike, please.
Wilco, Golf India Victor. So we'll set this to let the autopilot do the work, on the heading at least. Quite often I'll plan an altitude that, even though I can go higher, I'm trying to avoid complexity later on, and I'm trying to find an altitude that I can fly the entire route at, or as 99% of it at, without changing level. Now if we've got a long flight, then obviously I'll be looking to get as high as I can to improve the true airspeed. We've got a true airspeed of 137 at the moment, which is about 8 knots faster than the airspeed indicated. So the higher you go, you know all this presumably from your own training, don't need me to tell you this, but quite often you want to reduce the risk of an infringement, and if you can look at a route and say, right, I can do that all at 4,000 feet, that often is a good way of doing it. It prevents you from making a silly mistake with lots of step climbs and descents all over the place. So the purpose of the flight today is to look at history being made, really. I mean, aeronautic industry in the UK is pretty much, well, apart from maybe at the lower end, we haven't seen many people building, designing new aircraft, have we? Yeah, there have been some stuff on this sort of lower experimental end, a lighter end. And a lot of the developments happening in the US and in Eastern Europe. But a new helicopter is being designed and built. It's from a company called Hill Helicopters. Jason Hill is the chief executive and chief engineer. It's been his dream to build the ideal helicopter and to also reduce the costs. Golf India Victors, we are 5 miles to the southeast of the Charlie Alpha Mike.
Golf November, correction, Golf India Victor, roger, thank you, report overhead.
Okay, Golf India Victor. So yeah, we're going to go to the Hill helicopter factory. They've got some really interesting ideas of how to bring the costs of owning a new aircraft down, and it's just interesting, isn't it, to see something like this going on. And a chance to visit Tatenhill, which I've not been to before. As I said before, very few airfields that I haven't been to in the UK, certainly licensed ones. Golf India Victor overhead.
Golf India Victor, roger.
And we're overhead at time 29.
Hill Helicopters isn't the only factory and workshop I visited recently. In the summer I was given a tour of Proptech, a leading propeller maintenance, repair and overhaul company at Leon-Solent Airport in Hampshire. They offer a full service for Hartzell, Hamilton, Macaulay, MT and Sensenich propellers, and they work with props for all aircraft, big and small. The company is currently expanding by hiring new staff and adding new capabilities such as propeller governors. Whether it's an overhaul you need, a complete replacement propeller or governor system, or spare parts, Proptech has you covered. The team at Proptech can also offer dynamic balancing of your propeller in the field. They were good enough to come to Red Hill to tune up my prop, and it's made the world of difference. You can check out my video on what that involved in the link on the screen and in the video description.
Golf India Victor, descending altitude 1,700 feet.
Golf India Victor, roger. And Golf India Victor, as you pass 2,500 feet, just confirm happy to maintain no in-terrain clearance.
My own terrain clearance below 2,500 feet, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, roger. Golf India Victor, possible contact has disappeared again, right on your nose, range of 1.5 miles, no height or time, maybe spurious.
Golf India Victor.
Rhino 100 Tango established.
Rhino 100 Tango, thank you, Tower 124.005.
124.005, Rhino 100 Tango, thank you.
Golf India Victor, cancel IFR.
Golf India Victor, roger. And Golf India Victor, there's early call of traffic just to the left, 11 o'clock, range of 10 miles. Could also be into Tatenhill, 1,800 feet, tracking east.
Roger, we'll change to Tatenhill now, 124.080, thank you.
India Victor, copied, approved, service terminated. Squawk conspicuity, bye-bye.
Squawk conspicuity, Golf India Victor. And this is a dangerous thing, transitioning back to VFR. You know, they say transitioning to IFR is quite hard, and it is. Certainly gets the blood pumping, but transitioning back to VFR is quite hard, and it's not just a mindset thing, it's just an environment thing. Tatenhill radio, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, 6 miles to the south inbound, request aerodrome information.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Tatenhill radio, good morning, runway use 26 left hand, QFE 1012.
26 left hand, QFE 1012, Golf India Victor.
As I touched down at Tatenhill, my transport to the Hill factory was arriving at the helipad. Jason Hill from Hill Helicopters is picking me up in a trusty Robinson R44 today because their HX50 is still in development. Production is running behind schedule. Originally it was slated to begin in 2023, but it's now been put back to the end of 2027. Now they say this is because demand exceeded their expectations and they've had to move into this much larger manufacturing facility. And instead of subcontracting a lot of the manufacturing, they're building almost everything themselves in-house, including a brand new 500 horsepower turbine engine. It's an impressive feat that they hope will drastically reduce the cost, but at the same time enable them to create the perfect flying machine. Now, I'm not really a helicopter guy, as you know, but the HX50 is a great looking helicopter. And I'm interested in the project because what they're doing here for helicopters could help revive all of general aviation, including for fixed-wing pilots like me, or at least that's what the company foresees. Jason, that was a glamorous way to leave Tatenhill and come to your factory here. Where are we? What's the town?
We're on the northern edge of Stafford, just off junction 14 on the M6.
And we're in your HX50 demonstrator prototype sort of model.
Yeah.
And we're in here actually because the factory's quite noisy behind us. And let me get this right, you're developing the first single-engine helicopter that's been developed in the UK since the 1960s?
Yeah, the UK actually hasn't made a single engine helicopter since I think it's about 1966. So those were the Scout helicopters that the Army and the Navy had, and since then the UK has only really produced license-built helicopters from America, from France, from Italy, and not really developed anything domestically. So we're the very first company to do that in literally, 7 decades.
We're going to talk about why and what you're trying to do here in a second, but first let's talk about the aircraft. That's what people want to know about. So tell me all there is to know. Well, not all there is to know, we'd be here all day, but the key points about the HX50 and what it brings.
So my ambition for HX50 was to create the helicopter that I'd always wanted to own. So this is an opulent aerial Grand Tourer, if you like. It's a flying Aston Martin, so it's a 5-seat, beautifully appointed turbine-powered helicopter with a robust modern rotor system, so it handles well in all conditions. It's really benign in all regimes of flight. It's easy to fly, and it looks and performs like nothing else. So what we've designed here is a machine that's got 5 proper seats in it. It can take 5 95-kilo passengers and their bags and 3 hours of fuel, and then fly anywhere you like at 140 knots.
And a big part of your vision is affordability, isn't it?
Yeah. So while £500,000 is still a lot of money, but it's about a quarter of the price of similar helicopters of this size and capability. Our nearest competitor is about twice the price. So it's hugely more affordable than anything before, but it's not just about the purchase price. The big problem with helicopters is there's lots of people out there that could afford £500,000 for a new aircraft, but they can't afford to lose £500,000. So the rate at which the aircraft depreciates is really, really important. And traditionally, unlike a lot of fixed-wing aircrafts, helicopters have not only an hourly life, so a number of hours before you have to overhaul it, but they also have a calendar life. So after, say, 12 or 15 years, they come up for really big inspections that can yield huge maintenance bills in the hundreds of thousands. And so as a result, the value of your helicopter drops off whether you use it or not over that period of 10 to 15 years, and that sets a sort of inbuilt depreciation time bomb, which is okay if you're a commercial operator and you're flying off the hours and generating revenue to cover that, but if you're a private owner flying 50 hours a year, it's a disaster. And so our machine is designed to have a 5,000 hour hourly life, but it's completely on condition. It doesn't time out. All of the things that you need to inspect over time are just picked up on the 100-hour inspection. So we've really driven down the operating costs. So for a private owner, the cost of operating one of this, a state-of-art 5-seat high-performance turbine engine helicopter, is broadly equivalent to operating an R22, for example, because we don't have the inbuilt depreciation mechanisms.
We're in your factory here, which has got shiny floors, great lighting, lots of new machinery. Because you're doing everything in-house, literally, I think apart from a couple of components, everything is in-house. The engine, everything, the propellers, the wheels, everything you're making yourself.
Yeah. So in the automotive world and all sorts of industries where there's huge volume, there's huge competition between the supply chain, and so these companies make the components and the systems that they sell in sufficient volume that you really couldn't compete with them making things yourself. But in general aviation, the volumes are actually so low that it never really makes any of the supply chain very efficient, and they've got such a small number of units to sell to people that they become very expensive. And so what's happened over the years that the demand for general aviation aircraft has dropped from, say, nearly 19,000 units a year in the late 1970s to about 2,000 units a year now across everybody. the cost of all of the elements, your engines, your instruments, all of the hardware that goes into these things has just exploded. And that's why in 1978 a Cessna 172 was about $70,000 in today's dollars, and today it's $400,000 or $500,000. And there's no change in what you get for your money. It's just the fact that the prices have inflated so far above the inflation rates that it's just not attainable anymore. So we've been able, because we've got sufficient demand for the helicopter, to build everything in-house and cut out all of the middlemen, and then essentially create a product with enough margin for us that we can still deliver to the market at less than half the price of the nearest competition. And that's what's really going to stimulate general aviation to become healthy again.
You know, people watching this, most of my viewers, as you will know, will probably be fixed wing flyers. I think I do have
nobody's perfect.
I do have some heli friends, but does what you're doing here have the opportunity to maybe transform the whole of general aviation, private aviation?
It absolutely does. So we've had to build we've built a manufacturing platform here. We build our own jet engine, we build our own avionics, we build our own structures, we build our own interiors and seats and everything. We build everything. So we've built a manufacturing platform to build any general aviation aircraft, and the key jewels in that are our GT50 turbine engine, which is a fraction of the price of even a piston engine these days, and delivers a completely game-changing propulsion solution for light aircraft, and also our digital cockpit technology as well, which transforms the flying experience. So it's very much on our roadmap to expand into larger, more capable rotary aircraft, but also fixed-wing, single and twin-engine aircraft that share the engine and the avionics and other ingredients of our manufacturing capability.
What's astonishing is that more than 1,400 people have paid a non-refundable deposit and ordered an HX50, even though it hasn't been built yet. The money is funding the design, development, testing and the production scale-up.
This is the drive gear that sits at the back of GT50.
The first models will be permit to fly aircraft, and the owners will have to spend 2 weeks on a build assist program assembling their new aircraft themselves. Later down the line, and for a higher price, the same helicopter will be available in certified factory build form. Some have questioned whether the project will ever succeed, especially with so much of the work being done from the ground up. That's a big risk being taken by hundreds of customers.
You must get quite a few naysayers, or people say no, it can't be done, and you must get people that are thinking no, this will never happen, because we're kind of taught in Britain to kind of aim low, aren't we, with our expectations. Are you surprised at what you've achieved, and how do you respond to those people who even now today, seeing what you're doing already, seeing the order book, who still say it'll never happen?
I think the reality is when all GA enthusiasts and people that work in the GA industry have lived in an environment where absolutely nothing has happened for 55 years, right? Then it's quite normal for them to think that nothing's going to happen in the next 55 years. It's just going to continue to get worse. So that's the starting point. That's the background that you come into. So I don't get frustrated or upset when people find it hard to believe that somebody that's just popped up from nowhere can change the whole game. And so we will be judged based on what we deliver. So I'm just quite happy to get on with doing the job. We all love doing the engineering that we're doing, so we'll get the job done and then the product will speak for itself. And in the meantime, I'm quite happy for people to have any opinions that they've got based on their own experience of life. And I'm just using my experience to try and define what the next chapter of GA looks like for all of us, and to try and make the whole thing better.
I wish Jason and the team at Hill Helicopters all the best with their endeavour. I really hope they manage to pull it all off. May I just finish off by saying that as well as making YouTube videos, I make video content for businesses, both in GA and in other sectors too. If you're looking for a professional video service, then do get in touch through my website. The link is on the screen and in the video description. Thank you for watching The Flying Reporter. Fly safely, my friends.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
I'm going to go and get in a real aircraft now.
Yeah. Have a safe flight home.
Thank you, mate.